My name is Christopher Hammerly, and I study linguistics and psychology with minors in French and philosophy. I'm interested in a lot of different things because I think that's the best way to study language, is to look at it from a lot of different angles. It can be difficult to explain exactly what linguistics is to people because a lot of people just think it's learning a bunch of languages, but it's a lot more than that. Really, what you're doing is like looking deep inside of all languages and seeing what is kind of behind them, what makes them work. Sometimes it's grammar, sometimes it's the sounds that people make, sometimes it's the meanings behind the words, but it's basically looking at all those things in a scientific way. All the technology you see, like with Siri or any of those kind of speech programs, Google Translate that you use, those are all programmed by linguists because they know how language works and they know how it can be put together and how it can be interpreted. The nice thing about linguistics is you don't have to learn the language, you just have to learn about the language. So basically you're just gonna take a bunch of data and look at it and analyze it. It's like doing a puzzle. You don't have to paint the whole picture, you just have to put the pieces together. The faculty is very approachable. They're young, so they kind of understand where you're coming from. They're grounded in a way that I think is pretty unique. The other thing that you can do as a linguist is help save dying languages. 90% of the languages that are spoken today are in danger. Less than a couple thousand speakers, and many of those speakers are 60, 70, 80 years old. So as a linguist, you can go to these communities and help people document their language and show people that their language does matter. The thing about language is it's not isolated. It exists in the world. It exists in communities and cultures. It's easy to maybe forget about that sometimes and not look at it in the context that it exists in. But that's something that linguistics tries to take into account. You have to look at the people and their relation to each other. There are so many things that we haven't figured out yet that it's going to take hundreds of years before we even start to feel like we have a loose grapple on what language is all about.